What's up, world? It's your boy Wes.
And it's your boy Mosby.
Coming at you with that locker room talk and the shorts on the sports.
Where we keeping you locked in on the scores, but on the inside, there's a whole lot more.
Because what's said inside the locker room
stays inside the locker room.
My boy!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're here.
Back.
We here. We with it, baby.
Yeah. First of all, shout out to the swaggy do-rag, kid.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's a little silky.
Silky, sexy. Let my soul glow.
Well, listen, good brother. While your head over there getting all slick down with the silky, brother. You know, after a week of I know me and you would chat a little bit about this.
Yeah.
It was low key kind of a poo week, but there was a couple of shiners out there. There was a couple of shiners, bro. You know what I mean? There was. So we go, as you do, Rag, dude, we gonna lay down a couple of our thoughts on the games, bro. You had a couple of games, man, that you really wanted to get off your chest, man. I would love to hear your thoughts, brother.
Man, I mean, it's 5 good ones that I believe caught my mind with everything, and that I felt like was like, ooh, these are some. To me, they were some really good games and some shocking games. To me, it was a lot of shocking wins last week that I thought that was really surprising. I probably wish I could go back. I need to start recording my picks, quite honestly, because
Likewise.
Because I really wanted to see. Cause I felt like last week Loki was a bad week for me, just because there was a lot of things that kind of shook me a little bit. But we'll start off with I wouldn't say the biggest one was definitely to show some real truth to it that these Vikings are for real, and that's the Vikes and Packers. The Vikes and Packers was a game of, we still trying to figure out this Packers team is really good. Jordan Love came back and everything like that. But you wanted to really see, like, all right, man, the Vikes are aiming for 4-0. Is this a legit thing? Because the Packers defense, of course, the Vikings offense, I want to see if that was is that the real thing. We know that the Vikings defense, in my opinion, is real, but is this Vikings offense legit? Because that Packers defense is good too. They give up a little bit on the run, but they're good. They're a good defense. They was down Jair Alexander, but they still do some good things. And I mean, shoot, Sam Darnold is putting on a clinic these past few weeks in that game. I am thoroughly surprised. Not thoroughly surprised. Let me not say that. Let me not go too far. I mean, yeah. But I'm not too surprised because I've been a huge follower, a huge fan of KOC, their head coach, for the time he first got.
You have.
I've been a huge fan of his game and everything like that, but I didn't know he could. I didn't realize he was this type of quarterback whisperer. I mean, he has developed Sam Darnold into. If he keeps it going, I think he's 8 touchdowns, 2 picks, or sorry, not 8 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns, 2 picks so far. Mm-hmm. Last week in the game, and I'm like, man, if he keeps this rolling, you're talking about an MVP candidate if it goes like that. Right now,
he's already in there, good brother. He is already in there.
Sorry, not just MVP, but top 3. He could honestly win it if he keeps going, which is crazy.
Right.
It was years ago. This brother was seeing ghosts. It was not too long ago. He was seeing ghosts, and then he became a backup. He was written off, and we've heard it with Baker Mayfield. You can throw out all the comparisons, however you want to do it. But that's exactly what it's been with Sam Darnold. He has had an amazing resurgence. He easily, as long as he keep it up. I get it. It's week 4, so you got to take that with context. But he keep this going. How could he not win comeback player of the year? And on top of that, MVP. That's crazy to say about Sam Darnold. But KOC has done an amazing job. He is getting the best out of everybody, and Jefferson is still doing him. J.A. Jordan Addison, USC's finest, Pitt's finest, wherever you want to represent. I think he should represent Pitt. That's where you learned about the boy, but still, he is coming on. I want to butcher his name. It's Naylor, Josh Naylor, I think. Who?
Jalen Naylor.
Jalen Naylor.
Yep.
Okay, my bad, J.A. My bad, J.A. My bad. But I heard a podcast over this past summer. It's one of my favorite podcasts. I gonna give a little shameless plug here. The Green Light Podcast with Chris Long. That's where I get a lot of my football info, and then I kind of rub off of that and kind of research after him. He was preaching about Jalen. You said Jalen Naylor, right? Or Jalen Naylor. And when he said that, I was like, that's who could be a breakout. And you're seeing it. I mean, he is he has emerged known as a great number 3 weapon. I mean, hell, even a great number 2 when JA was out. And then we ain't even talking about Hawkinson. I mean, I'm not saying Hawkinson is gonna come right out the gates and be that same top 5 tight end, but as he gets slowly ramped up, we know what that talent looks like with him. And you still got to add him in. Aaron Jones is, they try to write him off, and that was one of my biggest confusions of writing him off. And that's another topic for another day with these running backs is, and I think, and then we talked about this last week. This is where fantasy, I think, gets a lot of people in trouble, and this is why I say you guys stop listening to some of these, and I hate to disrespect some of these fantasy analysts. Well, if you look at the age groups of 27 and 28, these RBs lose these amount of touches, brother.
That's how they talk.
That's how I look at it. So tired here, though, boy. I'm like, man, listen, ain't nobody trying to go for that. The talent was there. Yes, did he deal with a lot of injuries last year? Yeah. I mean, the brother was getting a ton of touches by the time he came out the league. I mean, but the day he was only 26 last year. We're not talking about Derrick Henry, who we'll get to that. We'll get to that later on. But we're not talking about the brother was 32 and he was, 32 dealing with hamstrings, 32 dealing with ankle injuries. He wasn't dealing with all that. He had a couple of hammy issues, and then at the back end of the year, he was fine. He's perfectly fine. He dominated in the playoffs. So how could you just say, he ain't gonna be it with an offensive mind like Kevin O'Connell? Come on, man. How could you write him off? But look at him. Now he having a great year. I'm excited to see what's going to happen, as he continues to go on. I hope he keep rolling. One of the most underrated O-lines in
correct
that people don't talk about. The Vikings have, which is a blessing, and people need to understand that they have a blessing of 2 tackles, a great left tackle and a great right tackle. Once again, how could you not? It's all there. It's beautiful. It's beautiful for Sam Darnold, those boys, and they are humming. And can't say enough about Flores. Flores is that defense. I get it. Jordan Love started to get together. You saw him get comfortable, and he started to take it to that defense. But that defense is still a great defense in this league. I mean, they
set the tone early too.
Yeah, they set the tone early. They come out and they gonna blitz. He gonna blitz. Yep. I told you about that last week. He don't care. He gonna blitz this thing. He gonna come out there and he gonna send whoever. And he got the right amount of guys to doing it. And so it's cool to see the Vikings look like a legit. I mean, if you was telling me these playoffs was the end today, they could win the Super Bowl. If you telling me the playoffs was the end right now, that's who I would pick to win the Super Bowl. I mean, that's just what it is.
That's a take.
Yeah, I mean, right now, and that's why I said right now. If you cut it off, stand
on that, good brother. I'm not here for. I'm not stand on it.
I am not saying they are, but I mean, come on now. They beat who a lot of people are gonna believe, the 49ers. They beat the 49ers convincingly. Convincingly. They took it to the Texans, who y'all got on the AFC saying that should be the Super Bowl.
Yep.
If anybody else, it's just the Chiefs. But they beat both of the teams that a lot of people said they should see in the dance convincingly. They blew them out. Like they took it to them.
Low-key was about to blow out the Packers too.
Yeah, exactly. They put up 28 on them early.
Yeah.
They just got a little complacent. And it's in Lambeau. But that's on the Vikings side, man. Like I said, that coaching staff, the organization, is his whole self. It's doing some great things, and it was cool to see in that game. Like, oh, okay, they ain't playing around. This is real out here.
Yeah.
And then on the Packers side, man, it looked like Jordan Love just had to get his feet back on the road. That's all. I get it. He threw the 3 crazy picks. Definitely a couple of them where I was like, man, what are you doing? He started to go back to his old ways from last year, but the brother just getting his feet back uncomfortable. You saw as he started to get himself comfortable, man. He come out there, I think he's 360 and 4+ touchdowns, and they almost came back.
Yeah, he was cooking.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, Jordan Love, I get it. Y'all gonna go against the picks, but the boys got it. And the boys got it. He just got to get his feet back on the room, and that was good to see with that. Shout out Dontavian Wicks.
Yep.
That is, and for the fantasy people, I know that's a big waiver priority. Your boy got him. I'm just saying, in one of my leagues, your boy got him. Your boy got him in a lot of leagues. I did, but
Smart man.
it's warranted. It's warranted. In my honest opinion, and I know Christian Watson got the draft capital, and definitely an amazing athlete, and well wishes to Christian Watson. But Dontavian Wicks is really, and I love Jaden Reed. They're both, in my opinion, kind of like that Chris Godwin, Mike Evans feel. They are both could be very talented wide receiver ones completely. They complement each other well. I definitely think Davian Wick should be the definitely second wide receiver who should be getting the looks. I know we forget about Dobbs. I like Dobbs. Dobbs does a lot of things well, but in that offense particular, Dontavian Wicks is one of the guys. He's one of the guys. He's definitely who they should be running that offense through as well. Amazing route runner. The only thing I'm a little hesitant on that I kind of watched, and maybe that's just because he doesn't get the way the offense flows, and he doesn't be that first read a lot. Had a lot of questionable drops. He gets caught with that a lot. I saw that in the first game too against the Eagles. He had a couple of drops where I was like, man. And another reason why I bring it up is because really Wick should have had 3 touchdowns, but he had a big drop. Wick's really had a crazy day. He had 2 touchdowns, but he had another third one that hit him right in the hands. And I was like, see, that's the only thing that be kind of getting me sometimes with him. But when he's on, he's on. I think the brother came out there with 13 targets. So that should tell you everything you need to know.
That does.
And then the only other negative that I have for the Packers is the slow start, which was understandable, but the run game. That's your boy, right? That's your boy Josh Jacobs.
I have no idea what that was about, bro.
The only thing that I can kind of attest to it is, it's a new offense. That will always be one of my main things. It's new for him. He's getting a new feel. He has never really played in this style of offense. Everything has been definitely run first, more up the middle, more inside zone. I'm not gonna go too deep in all that. Matt LaFleur comes from that. It's just different type of inside zone. It's different type of movement. It's a lot of getting to the outside as well.
Yeah.
And like you saw against like everybody saw against the Colts game, you got to get him in going. I'm talking about he kind of like Derrick Henry. You got to give him. He got to come out the gates 5-10 touches. Sadly, he ain't gonna get that in this offense. Because why? He ain't never played with no top 10, supposedly top 10 quarterback. He's never played with a quarterback of that caliber with Jordan Love. So sadly, it's not gonna come out the gates. It's not gonna do that. We're not gonna pound the rock with it with 10 touches right out the gate. Sorry. And I think that's one thing he's adjusting to, because that's kind of how his game is played. That's what I'm seeing from it, is why the slow start is. If anything though, and we'll get into the games later on, I would say this is a good week to see if he can get it going. Because if not, Emmanuel Wilson's knocking at the door. Emmanuel Wilson knocking right at the door.
I actually wanted to say something quick on that, because you're right. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, even when he was at Alabama, that was always been his forte. Like, you give Josh Jacobs the rock, the more he touches it, he's like a juggernaut. The more he touches it, the more momentum he gets, and then the better it is for your offense, which is why when he had that game in week 2 and you saw him go off for 150 and you saw him have 30 touches, it was no shock to me. But the thing I wanted to say about this is actually going to say a lot about Matt LaFleur's coaching, because now that you have this, the same thing with the Ravens, right? Like the first couple of weeks that they had Derrick Henry, we were trying to figure out what the hell they were doing, trying to do all these weird formations instead of just going into the eye and then just letting Derrick Henry just kind of run downhill. But we were like, yo, at some point, you're going to have to realize what you got in your backfield rather than trying to rely on your superstar quarterback, or who you hope to be your superstar quarterback, and try to adjust. And that's the same thing that they're going through right now with the Packers. Like, you've seen what he can do when he has, at least 15 to 16 touches. Yeah. You got to find a way to let him be who he is, and then let Jordan Love take over the way that you want Jordan Love. The one thing I will say about that is, now that the fact that he is coming off an injury, maybe you don't want Jordan Love throwing that often, and maybe you give yourself a reason to run the ball more. So because you trying to preserve that man's legs at this point. They had to come back last week because it was like, yo, you got down in the hole so quick. You're right. And I was like, that was the first time I feel like I've ever seen Josh Jacobs catching the ball like that. He's not. I don't think I've ever really known him to be a catching back, and so that was good to see that he is at least being used in multiple ways now. So we will see. But I'm about to, Matt LaFleur has done a great job so far as coaching with quarterbacks. I want to see what he do with a running back now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm right there with you. I like Matt LaFleur a lot. I mean, clearly we know the boy can coach. Sorry, not boy. The man can coach. The man can coach because of Malik Willis and what he did with him over the last few weeks. But yeah, I definitely would like to see how that gets mixed in. But that's what I like from that game there. The next one. I'm divvying up here. I believe I'm depending on either should I go Eagles and Bucks or should I bang out your boy, Mr. Jaden Daniels in the Cardinals game.
Hey, let's save him. Let's save him for last, brother. Let's save him for last.
Okay, but you
yeah.
No, it is warranted. It is warranted because it's some things, and maybe I might get. I don't know what's been going. Ever since I've been creeping up on 31, I think I don't care no more. I just been saying whatever would come on my mind. The way I'm feeling about Jada Downs, I'm like, man, he keep this going. But we'll save it. You're right.
Yep.
So we'll go Eagles Bucks on this one here. We'll start with the good, and the good is the Bucks. The good is the Bucks. I mean, I know a lot of people will, once again, like we said last week, man. A lot of people wanted to say Baker ain't real and Baker is this and that. Now Baker's real. I mean, it's once again, Sam Darnold. The Baker is real, and it's real because he found his guy. He found his coordinator, and now I'm glad that all this is coming through. I'm gonna keep repeating it because I think fans need to keep realizing this. Is sometimes it just ain't about the quarterback, and we need to start paying attention in the draft. That it does not. It don't only matter where these kids is going. Who are they getting coached by? Who are these kids getting coached by? And that's the biggest thing. Once again, I get it. C.J. Stroud had an amazing rookie year. Who did he get coached by? A guy that came from where? The Shanahan tree. And you see it. You see it blossoming. And the same thing here with Liam Cohn, and that's the OC for the Bucks. Liam Cohn came from where? The McVay. He was with Sean McVay. Look at it. Look how it's all manifested. And Baker looks comfortable even more than he did last year. He looks extremely comfortable. And he got Chris Godwin in the slot cooking. Chris Godwin is doing him. Mike Evans is, once again, the age stuff. Y'all got to stop, bro, and start using your eyes. It doesn't matter. Mike Evans done put up 1,000 yards 10+ years. You think he's just going to start slowing down? And he didn't look like he slowed down last year. He's doing exactly what it is here. Is he going to still have these type of games because he got Chris Godwin over there where it's going to be some slow games? Yeah, Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin's good. Chris Godwin is more than good. I mean, Chris Godwin, low-key, could be a wide receiver one somewhere if you wanted to be. So they're blessed with that. And then the young boy, Bucky Irvin. I mean, he was a dog in college. I did watch a lot of his games at Oregon. But, man, one thing I didn't say it, but I kind of seen like, man, this is actually a scary spot for people that like Rachaad White fantasy-wise, but just in general, because Rachaad White just didn't do much last year in the run game. In the passing, amazing. He's a great pass-catching back. But as far as finding the holes, and yes, did they not have the best line last year? They did not. But there was also times where it's like, some of these are open. You're just not getting it. You're not hitting it the way you should. Bucky Irvin is doing exactly that. Bucky Irvin is an efficient runner, and they're starting to get him involved in the pass game. I did hear some reports that Rachaad was dealing with a little bit of injury last week, but that don't make it any better there because the boy was doing really good while he was replacing him. I mean, he was running. He was getting about 4 to 5 yards a pop. So now they got a run game. And then the defense, which is crazy because nobody's seen this come with the Bucks, especially after how they performed with the Broncos. The defense came out and did what they needed to do. Todd Bowles is once again amazing, really underrated D coordinator. He just has some questionable coaching things, but coordinator-wise, the man can call a defense. And
he sure enough can.
They had that line.
So a blitz at you in a minute.
Oh my God! So
the blitz at you in a minute. Yep.
The Bucks are doing their thing. It's cool to see with that as well. They are humming, and they got a good game coming. They play tomorrow, right? Yeah, they play tomorrow against the Atlanta Falcons, which is another good test for them to see if this is real. Same thing with the Falcons. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Now for the Eagles.
Here we go.
For the Eagles.
Here we go. Fly Eagles by.
Man, I'm trying to wrap my brain around. And by the way, I'm not. These are no notes or anything like that. This is off the top of my dome of stuff that I've been seeing off the week. So I'm trying to figure out where I start at with them. Um, we'll save the bigger topic, which is the coaching and Jalen Hurts for last. We'll get to the defense. The defense, man, it is just. I mean, it's what it is. It is atrocious. Shout out to the young boy though, Quinyon Mitchell. He's actually the brightest spot over there. He back up his talk. He back up his play. The boy's good. He when he was on Mike Evans, he was part of the reason why Mike Evans wasn't scoring. But when they put him over there, and I hate to say it, because I like Darius Slay, who is in a lot going on right now in media. We know where Slay is at, but man, Slay did not have a good day. Slay did not have a good day at all. CJ GJ has not had a day. And I get it. He bring the juice. He bring the noise. I play with guys like that too. But man, when you having 4 weeks back to back to back of getting cooked, missing tackles, but he gonna be himself, and you kind of gotta respect that. But it start to get into the locker room a little bit when you just like, all right, bro, I like your energy, but we got to get paid out here too, and you ain't doing nothing for us.
Right.
So that defense all over. I mean, from the linebackers, which is crazy because Devin White is over there, and Devin White ain't even playing because he looks bad. And the linebackers that are starting over him, Nakobe Dean looks bad. The only one that looks, which is crazy. But I mean, it's just, I mean, it's the league. It's the league, man. And yeah, that defense is just not it, man. It is atrocious. I mean, hopefully this bye does some good for him with Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is known for being an amazing D coordinator, especially from his blitzes and his disguises. But maybe this time maybe the game is past him. Maybe the game is past him. Maybe maybe these guys just don't fit what they got. Once again, like I said, maybe this bye is crucial for them. This is to figure all that out. Now on the offense, I know what everybody's trying to figure out here, man. Who we blaming? To me, it's all around. I'm gonna start with the least to most. Kellen Moore is the least because Kellen Moore is new. Kellen Moore is trying to figure it out. Kellen Moore was down his 2 main wide receivers. So you got to take that for what it is. Down his 2 main guys. But, is Nick Sirianni influenced a little bit of Kellen Moore? Because from week 1 to now, they weren't doing a lot of motion. That's one of Kellen Moore's things. And that's why a lot of people was excited about this offense because last year they didn't have no motion. They didn't have no pre-snap motion. They didn't get the crazy movements to see what they're in, to get them in running starts and everything like that. When you're down your 2 guys, should you get more creative? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Like, dang, we down our 2 main dudes. We got to really try to get creative here because we got some guys that may not really do a lot of what they do. So we got to try to figure out their strengths, their weaknesses, so that we can expose their true strengths, expose what they really do good at. You got Jahan Dotson. He's still a good enough wide receiver. It's good enough that you can get him going. Paris Campbell's a good enough going. You get him going. Still got Dallas Goedert out there. Let's get something going there. So that was a little bit odd to me there. To the second most. I know all the ladies is going to be sad here. It's your boy Jalen Hurts. And I got Jalen Hurts. And I still think Jalen Hurts, he's good. He is good. But man, and he said it, but man, he's got to step up his level of play. I mean, from the turnovers, whether it's a pick or a fumble, it has been, and I don't know and it's been going on since, what was that, week after they beat the Chiefs last year, I think, is where it's starting to get all a little wonky and everything like that. I don't know what happened to it, which is odd because, once again, you can only take what you can get from his presser and how he speaks and how he, talks and everything like that from what we're seeing, but we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Mentally, I don't know. I don't know what's been going on with it. Either it's just there's no continuity with the head coach or just everything else. The reason I'm going to put him second is because, yes, just like Kellen Moore, he was down as 2 guys. And at the end of the day, I get it. They're paying him $50+ million, so it shouldn't matter. But at the end of the day, and I talked to you about this with the quarterback thing, this is a new era. This ain't the era of you got the Tom Brady's, you got the Peyton Mannings. You can go out there with a couple of wide receiver 2s and 3s and go make it work. That's just not the era, and that's the era we're gonna move into as we get older. That's just what we're gonna move into. It's sadly, like I said, the last of the dying breeds is, of course, the Matt Staffords, the Patrick Mahomes, and the C.J. Strouds. Other than that, man, sadly, a lot of these new quarterbacks they need something. Now, I know you don't like him, but he low-key did it. Brock Purdy kind of did it a little bit too. He still went for 300 and a couple of touchdowns. Why are we not seeing that from Jalen Hurts? Why are we? I mean, the Bucs defense ain't that crazy on the back end. It ain't that. So what is exactly going on there? So I'm hoping that Jalen can elevate his play once again. The bye should be crucial for them to really get it all together, to finally mesh with Kellen Moore and we get that all hashed out. And it's not a take, but I am thoroughly believing that Jalen Hurts is going to bounce back from this just because of what we've seen and got to know who he is. And also, too, hopefully, this is something I kind of thinking, is Jalen Hurts hurt? Has he been injured? Is he battling with something? Because I saw a video the other day, the way that he ran the ball last year and even in prior years, he only 26. That's what people don't get. He only 26. He don't run with that same explosiveness like he did before. You know, it almost like when he gets out the pocket, it look a little more like I ain't saying sand. He running in quicksand, but it ain't that same type of pop that he usually has. So, you know, I'm not going to say Jalen Hurts is not the guy, but also, too, you know, maybe Jalen Hurts ain't the top 5 quarterback that we thought. But if he's the bottom 5 from 6 through 12, that's okay. You just gotta find what works for him. And I still think it's in there. I still think it's in there for that one. And then my last one, like I said, the most blame that it goes to, I think it's Nick Sirianni. I just think that, man, he don't have a hold on this the way we think it is. I think he is in the ear of Kellen Moore a little bit, you know, because like I said, the offense looks odd. It looks different. And once again, Nick Sirianni was an offensive coordinator, and he even took over some of the plays, and his plays, based on what he took over last year, they look boring. They look predictable. There's no flow. There's no flow. There's no flow with it. And like I said, from a head coach standpoint, I just don't think he's the true leader for that team that they need. You know, yeah. I don't think he meshed well with Jalen Hurts. And that's crucial for your quarterback. That's crucial. You and your head coach, especially from an offensive mind standpoint, if you got an offensive-minded coach, you and your quarterback have to be in this. They got to be in here with that, and I don't think they have that at all. And I think that's the crucial problem of it. And they keep on blowing. They keep on not looking prepared to play. They didn't look prepared to play against the Bucs after having a hell of a win against the Saints. And it's like, bro, what's going on? You saw how the letdown looked last year. It's like, how come your teams don't look ready to be here? How come your team looks defeated? Why is everybody pointing fingers? What's going on here? I just don't think he's the right leader at the helm for all of this. And so I don't know who they got when they come off the bye, but if they don't look like they come ready week 6, man, safe to say that just like a couple other coaches, he could get the boot here quick, and they're gonna be looking at a couple of guys. Maybe Belichick, maybe Vrabel. I don't know. Maybe that's what they need. But they need somebody in there that's really gonna take over the locker room and be a leader. And right now, I'm not seeing that. So that's my whole sense with the Eagles and Bucks. I don't know if you got anything on that one, but that's my whole. That's what you said.
No, you hit it spot on. The only thing I was gonna add to that was with what's going on with Jalen Hurts. I think it all leads back to Nick Sirianni. Honestly, at the end of the day, you know, when I watch Jalen Hurts and from what he looked like from his Super Bowl time versus what he looks like now, the only person that you really can say is the differentiator in this is Shane Steichen, who's no longer there. And you were brought in to be an offensive guru. So you once your offensive coordinator left, you were supposed to like man the ship. And now it like quite literally looks like Jalen Hurts is trying to like overcome play calling that is coming from Nick Sirianni. And I think that's exactly why you see the disconnect. Like, you know, when you're hearing him in the press conference and you talking about they have their moments when they meet and stuff like that, that is quite literally like, I mean, you could even see it in their personalities. Like, you know, one seems super impulsive, the other one seems even keeled, and you trying to tell, you know, you're trying to sell your vision on the field. And Jalen's like, bro, I'm not doing that, bro. Like, we've tried it your way several times. Now it's the same way Aaron Rodgers looked when he got Mike McCarthy up out of there, right? I'm just gonna not listen to you, and then we're just gonna see how it works. So you hit everything spot on that, and quite frankly, I'm gonna give him, if this don't look better within 5 games, it's gonna be a wrap in my opinion.
For Nick Sirianni?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not gonna let this go much longer, bro. It's getting into the media too much, and it's not good. It's not good at all.
I mean, at the end of the day, and you know, I remember you always said it. I mean, you got to follow the money, and sadly, they just paid this dude this past summer $50+ million. It's even if it was to be his quarterback play, they're gonna still look at him because it's based off of last year. It just is what it is. The next one, I'm gonna go into this one because man, was it? We'll go to the Sunday night one, Monday night, then your boy. We'll do it like that. Sunday night, Bills Ravens. They keep trying to write that big man off, don't they? They keep saying he done ran for about 400 attempts in high school. He ran for about 400 attempts in college. He done ran close to 400 attempts here. He 30. He ain't got it no more. He come out there, give you 200+ yards of scrimmage yards and a touchdown. And alone right out the gate at that. Yeah. Henry's a problem. And now listen, and I know what people are gonna try to do because they're gonna be like, well, Wes, it's 4 games in, and you know, his body, we're gonna see what it looks like week 10. Yes, like anything, it's the NFL. Wear and tear happens, y'all. But the way I heard people talking about him, they just acted like he was done. He wasn't gonna come in and do well at all. And I'm like, man, hold on. The man on his run when he hit that 87-yard run, I looked it up on Next Gen. He ran for 21 miles per hour. You cannot tell me that's cooked. 21 miles with it. He outran, you know, shout out to him, Lamar Hamlin. Shout out to him. He outran him. I mean, blue pass them safeties and DBs.
Among others.
Among others. He blew past all those DBs. And I mean, they just that backfield is dangerous. It is dangerous. I mean, they came out right out the gates and took it to the Bills. And you know, shout out to the Ravens because we was trying to wonder what their identity was going to be. And I know you'll probably have a little speak on this because we talked about it a little bit in the chat of they're not really passing the ball, of using Mark Andrews and using Isaiah Likely, using Zay Flowers, and you know, mixing in a little Rashad Bateman. No, Tom Monken said straight up, man, you know what? I got 2 of the most dangerous runners in my backfield. And in a hindsight, I'm not saying Justice Hill is at all if he was to go somewhere and be an RB1, but he's a scary outside runner, man. I mean, the boy got some speed on him.
That is a speedster.
Yeah, I mean, he is a problem. He is another. So Tom Monken just looked at it and said, man, listen, my offense has some very dynamic runners in the backfield. And as crazy as it sounds, I know y'all want to hear it, especially people that probably got Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely in fantasy, but Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely are probably 2 damn good blockers. I mean, they just are. They are. And you're like, man, listen, I got really 3 really good tight ends that can block. I'm just going to get exotic runs in the back. And we're going to have different misdirection, but we're going to use them 2 in the backfield, and we're going to be like, hey, stop us then. Straight up, stop us. And you know what? Cannot be mad about it because really, and the more I kind of sat back and looked at it, because I was a little mad too. I'm like, man, y'all could be so much balance if y'all just start, getting people to come up, and then you hit Isaiah Likely over top, Mark Andrews over top. You hit somebody deep with Zay Flowers. I like the little gadget plays with the screens and stuff like that, but Zay Flowers is more than that. You know, Zay Flowers, they don't have dynamic blocking wide receivers. I'm sorry, y'all. So they need to figure that one out. But when you really look at it, their offense is very good for this league because you keep these dominant quarterbacks of Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott. You keep them off the field. Like, that's how you win. You got to keep them off the field. And what better way than to do it if I'm running at you with a 250-pound man and you got to constantly keep tackling that and them DBs over and over. Like, oh my god! And then all of a sudden you switch it up, and you take Lamar, who you barely can touch him in a phone booth. So you get that going on. You're like, man, it wears you out. It wears you out. It wears you out. And then, like I said, you're keeping the quarterback off the field. You can take up time of possession. Right now it's a good enough offense, but I would like to see them add in just a little bit more of the passing dynamic, because I know people are going to try to say, well, Mark Andrews dropped the ball. Well, brother, everybody is not in rhythm. Mark Andrews probably he hasn't been in rhythm. Yeah. Mark Andrews, everything that I've seen with Mark Andrews, and I'm not going to dive on too much because I just don't think he's washed up. But everybody keeps saying he's cooked, the injury and this and that. When you watch the film, he looked the same. That's just Mark Andrews. He's just not getting the ball. Same with Isaiah Likely. Boyce is not getting the ball. That's all. That's just what it is. And like I said, I just would like to see that happen because somebody's going to commit to it. I'm trying to think of some teams that are really the Lions are really stout against the run. So when you go against the Lions, what is that going to look like? Are you going to really finally open it up? Like, what's that passing game look like? So I would like to see them just get a little bit more balance. But man, the Ravens defense came out there and they came to play. They finally look like they had it going on, especially from the back end. They have a very deep secondary from Nate Wiggins, Marlowe. Nate Wiggins actually, I think, is going to be a really good young corner as he continues to grow. Kyle Hamilton is just going to continue to be an all-pro. He is. That's a blessing to have somebody like a Kyle Hamilton on your defense. So, I mean, he come up on the line, play free safety, Swiss Army knife. That just makes your defense one of one. The deep coordinator did a really good job. They took it to him there. So, man, right now the Ravens are on week 4. You can say they're probably the best team on the AFC side besides the Chiefs. But right now, they took it, blew out. They had some convincing wins. They're one of the dominant teams over there. One of the dominant teams. As far as the Bills go, because we know how recency bias go. We thought the Bills was the most dominant team. Right. Now the Giants just stink. That's just what it was. The Bills definitely for them is there's injuries. Finally look like they caught up with them on the defensive side. Sure. Not having Matt Milano, who is one of the most underrated linebackers in the league. They took out Greg Rousseau. I don't think Devon Miller play this game.
I think he did, but he's suspended now.
Yeah, he did. You're right. My bad. Yeah, he did get suspended. But yeah, they took out. Von Miller was barely getting any pressure. Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver. They just basically either ran away from them or they did so much misdirection that they basically had them out of the play, and that made their DBs get on the tackling game. Of course, they were down to Teron Johnson and everything like that. But yeah, that Bills defense looked a little gassed, and they need those guys. They need these guys back ASAP because if that's the way how you beat them, if you can just take it to them and run them, then after that you can just hit them over the top with a pass, then there you go. And they got a good secondary, but it's the run game that I think the run defense that needs to get talked about over there for the Bills. Yeah. And then on the offensive side, man, once again they just looked out of whack because of the Ravens defense. That little questionable trick play that they tried, I just think every OC, if you study the game enough, man, you get every OC in there that's like, man, it's 3rd and whatever. We down. I think they was down 20. They was down about. I know it was like 20 to something to 3 at the time. He just was looking for something, and he almost got his franchise QB taken out the game on that one, man. He put Josh in a terrible spot. I said, it looked like the boy was crying when he came off the field. I just was like, I'm like, all right, man. That's just one of those desperation calls. We need something. But yeah, the Bills' offense, I think, is going to be fine. Like I said, I just think the Ravens just took it to them. They eliminated Shakir. They definitely need to get Keon Coleman more involved on the outside for those one-on-ones. I like what they did there. They would get Keon Coleman in a lot of those one-on-ones, and then Josh would just throw it up to him, and Keon Coleman would use his old basketball skills, and box these dudes out and go up and snatch it from them. So I think they need to definitely do that a little bit more as well. That was one of the bright spots that I saw. And I know they like using Shakir a lot and Darnold Kincaid, but I think Curtis Samuel could be a sneaky one that they really start getting involved too. That I think that'll help them out a lot. And I think they'll just be fine. Definitely need to get the O-line, a little bit more continuity on that one as well. But all in all, it was just the Ravens just came ready to play, man. They smacked them in the mouth. So
Yeah.
I think the Bills are gonna be fine, but definitely get your boy Zero involved a little bit more on that one. Then the next one. If you got anything you want to speak on that one for that game for the Bills and Ravens?
Nah. Once again, bro, you on a roll. The only thing I was gonna say, sadly, and this is not even really a hot take, but I know this is gonna come off as a hot take. Sadly, I didn't really learn much from that game. There was a lot of people that were picking the Ravens to win that game anyway, just given the necessity for them to win after being 1-2 or whatever they were, 1-3, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was expecting them to win, but newsflash, guys, Ravens can run the ball. I mean, we've always known that. I mean, like,
yeah.
Right? I'm like, I truly consider them to be like the anglerfish of just like the NFL, them and the Bills. Like, you show us stuff that we already know you can do, and the sad part is you actually didn't show me anything in the past game that we were hoping would be complementary to the run game that you got in. So basically, you've turned into the Tennessee Titans of what, 2-3 years ago, where they just had, Derrick Henry feed the ball several times, go downhill, and now all of a sudden you got yourself, trying to fight in a phone booth with Derrick Henry. You know how that's gonna go. But I mean, honestly, if they keep this up, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't, because of the competition in the AFC. Somebody, to your point, somebody's gonna commit to that. And I don't envision them even making it to the AFC Championship if that's like the way that they think they're gonna win. I didn't see enough of the pass game. Yes, I didn't see them. I didn't see enough in the pass game for me to be like, oh man, like they're a real threat. Like I said this in the chat, and I'm not going to harp on this too much, but like we get into this mode every time when it comes to Lamar Jackson, and he is a great player. And rightfully so, wins his MVPs because of what he's able to do. But they have to find him a balance to make him a full threat quarterback. Meaning, all right, we got the run game. Like, we know they can't stop this. Now, let me show you how I can get my wide receivers open, because I'm seeing you cheat to the line, and I'm getting my most electric receivers, Zay Flowers, involved, rather than just letting, the game go to a bunch of, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but a bunch of no-name receivers that don't, quite frankly, impact the game, right? Like, that's how you saw that. I ended up seeing that with the Bills. Like, it's good to have Stephon Diggs in a game like this when you have nobody else you can lean on because your offense can't get nothing, and you could at least rely on a connection, but you can't do that now. Like, it's all on Josh Allen. So I didn't learn nothing from either one of them players. I just realized, like, hey, the Ravens really needed it. They got to win, but I am not on that bandwagon of saying the Ravens are the best team in the AFC right now.
Next, we got, like we called it last week, brother. What a game it was. Them Lions and them Hawks.
Yeah.
The Lions and the Seahawks. I do remember this one. I got this one wrong. I thought the Seahawks could do it again, but man, was it electric out there. I didn't know they was going to put their all black unis on. That would have probably changed my decision. That would have changed it all there. The Lions and the Seahawks, man, what a game. What a game it was there. They shout out Cincinnati's finest, David Montgomery, man, with the angry run of the week. With the angry run of the week there.
Yeah,
but
that was crazy, bro.
Yeah. But we'll first get into with Jared Goff. And Jared Goff went 18 for 18. And it wasn't 18 for 18 with check downs or anything like that. It was 18 for 18. And, I mean, he was anticipating some throws. I mean, he was putting it right, coming off of play action, putting it with spots where it needed to be. Got him a receiving touchdown on that trick play in the end zone. Hey, I mean, they put out all the works in there. Same thing with the Seahawks. And we'll get to their side, too. But on the Lions side, man, Jared Goff came out of that thing 18 for 18. I'm mad. And Dan Campbell addressed it in the press conference because he felt bad he didn't give him a game ball because he didn't know that. And I'm like, yeah, you got to give a quarterback that one. 18 for 18, 295. I get a lot of it was right after catch, but he still put some balls right where they needed to be. He put them on the money. He did some good anticipation throws. I was proud to see that because we had said Jared Goff ain't really been looking too well these last few weeks, and came out there at home Sunday night and put on a show there. Jameson Williams came out there, did his thing. Amon-Ra came out there and played as he always has done. They really starting to get your boy Sam Laporta back in. back in rhythm a little
Slowly but
bit.
surely. Yep.
I think it's still, I don't know if he's gonna have the type of year that he had last year because of Jameson Williams. But I think he is gonna still have some boomer bust games. But they started to get him a little more involved, especially with him coming off that ankle sprain. But boy, the biggest thing with them is like always is that 1-2 punch is a problem. The 1-2
big
punch
problem.
is
Problem.
it's scary. I mean, Gibbs could bang off a 20-yard run, and then if they feel Gibbs is low gas, go ahead and give it to Pocket Hercules. Give it to the hamster himself, the muscle hamster himself, man. Just let David punch it on in, or vice versa. If David break off a 13, 14-yard run, well then give it to the electric back and let him hit who is now punching it in himself.
Yep.
They didn't even do anything out the backfield like receiving wise with Gibbs, which is crazy. Because that's what his scariest part of his game as well, to get him out of open space and use that speed. But yeah, that 1-2 punch with the O-line.
Filthy.
What do you do with that offense? What do you do? Defense side is still some questionable things. Terrion Arnold had a little questionable game a little bit with some holding and stuff like that, but it's going to be growing pains for them there. Aiden Hutchinson looked good. I just would like to see that defense continue to take that next step, because I think that's what's going to be good for them in the playoffs. Like anything, but for them specifically, that defense, especially that secondary, take that next step with Carlton Davis and them boys. And Carlton Davis had a couple of plays where he got a little handsy, but he had a decent day. Day. But if they can do that in that secondary, boy, once again, man, who's touching the Lions here in the playoffs? What's John Harbaugh said? And who's got it better than us? Nobody.
Nobody.
Nah,
man, that's corny, though.
I don't know why he do it, but that's what he do, man. But yeah, the Lions right now, man, that was a really good game that they put together. And then on the Hawks side, like I said, man, Geno Smith, just keep turning back the clock. He just keep turning back the clock. Shout out to that offense. Mike McDonald did a great job with getting the offensive coordinator that he got. You get a guy from college that had literally the most explosive offense. He came from UW. For the people that don't know, he was working with Michael Penix and them boys.
Yep.
Ryan Grubbs. Ryan Grubbs is his name. Look him up. I mean, just how you saw how that offense was. He done brought it here. He got DK Metcalf out there looking. I mean,
like what he always should have been.
What he should have always been. What he looked like in the first 2 years with Russ and all that, but now even more highlighted. Got JSN out there. Kenneth Walker.
Finally.
Walker. I mean, we keep talking about Brees. We keep talking about, Bijan and all these other guys. If Kenneth Walker keep this up, he very well may be, the best back in the league. Or at least going to be one of the most underrated ones. The boy came out there 3 touchdowns right off of injury. 3 touchdowns. Injury. I mean, it barely looked like he can get pulled down. He was out there running. That one play that he did, man, where it looked like he should have been down, and then he flipped over Anzalone.
On his head.
On his bald head. No, I was impressed with that one. I was wildly impressed. I said, wow, he came out the gate swinging on Sunday night, man. And but that offense looks good. The defense looked a little shaky. Looked a little shaky there. Devin Witherspoon had some good spots, but once again, like I said, he got caught in that angry run by David Montgomery, which was wild to see.
Yeah,
but
that was just a bad angle, bro.
Bad angle, but I would give it to Devin Witherspoon because he took it and hopped right back up.
So did he looked a little wobbly though? He did look a little wobbly,
a little shaky. Which I saw where he hit him at. He hit him right at the top of the head,
right in the noggin.
They may not be reporting it, but that boy's concussed. He's concussed.
Hey.
But he got up and hawked him down, though. So I said, that's what's up, bro. I'll take 10 of those.
Okay.
I like those type of players. He got boom and got his butt right up and said, they're going to try to do some of those plays. So it was a good game overall. Hawks tried to battle back into it, man, but sadly they couldn't pull it away. But, once again, the Hawks, man, as long as that defense, they were hurt a lot. I think they were down Byron Murphy and they was down Leonard Williams, which is that crucial part of for their run defense and stuff like that. That was crucial for them. So, clearly the Lions took advantage of that. But still, the Hawks, like I told you, man, if everything goes right, barring injuries and everything like that, they get healthy. This is a sneaky team in the playoffs that a lot of people ain't trying to see, especially the way Geno playing. This is a scary team. This can be a scary team, man. If they get hot at the right time in the back end, the Hawks can be a problem. Seahawks can be a problem. But that's my 2 cents. You got anything on that game?
Yeah, nah. I mean, listen, bro. As far as I'm only really gonna speak on the Lions. I think the Seahawks showed me everything that I needed to know about how to feel about them going forward. Only thing I would say about the Lions is this the true Lions? The run game was, to your point, that's literally the best thing about that offense, bro. I mean, they obviously got great receivers as well, but they get into this thing where it's like, all right, man, we come in cooking with grease, bro. They come out scorching, and then out of nowhere, you see that defense just like not stay as locked in, I guess, like when the first half. And I was like, that's literally the whole point of you having a run game. Like the minute you get up big, like how they did in that game, there really shouldn't be much of a reason for your defense to start easing off of the pedal the way that they were. As if anything, you have the ability to start pinning your ears back. And it was a whole reason why I said I thought Aiden Hutchinson was going to be the defensive player of the year this year, is because I was like, you're going to have these games where they're in marquee moments. They have big highlight moments that they're like, all right, the Lions are big. They can start pinning their ears back. And then Aiden Hutchinson's going to take over. And I'm like, dog, like where is the disconnect on like how we stay locked in for a full 4 quarters? Yep. So the Seahawks, I will give them the fact that they were going against the Seahawks. They are no joke. So I'm not saying that they were playing a scrub, but that was the only disheartening thing that I saw. I was like, listen, bro, when you go up big like that, you have very capable backs, bro. Like you have very capable backs. So you should be able to put games away quickly so that you don't have to have Jared Goff out there for more snaps than he needs to be. I mean, y'all playing the long game this year. So that was the only thing that I had, but that was a pretty wild game. Shout out K-Dub. Shout out K-Dub, man. He was cooking. He was cooking.
All right. So the last one, just for your boy right here. We're going to keep it simple and short, man. Commanders and Cardinals. Yeah. As simple as it is. Talk to me. I mean, like I said, I don't want to dive too much into it because, man, on the Cardinal side, we'll keep it short with them because, what was going on with Kyler Murray there. Odd game plan by them. Why didn't they run the ball as much with Kyler Murray? That definitely threw me off a little bit. But, man, the Commanders did play some, for what their defense is worth, they play some decent defense there. So for the Cardinals on that one, I'd love to see them get Kyler Murray just involved a little bit, and he's got to elevate his play. I know he got the 49ers in town next week, but, that's not the crazy 49er defense that we know of, right? It can still be beat, but I would like to see that OC next week to get Kyler a little bit more involved on the ground. But the biggest thing.
Talk to him. Is he real?
Man.
Is he real?
Right now, yeah. Jaden Daniels.
Oh, shawty.
Jaden Daniels, man. Jaden Daniels is the real deal.
Yo.
I know he's going to have his couple of letdown games, especially we're going to find out about next week. He got the Browns. That's a tough secondary. Yeah. But, man, he's the real deal. I mean, right now, man, they haven't punted in the last 3 games. That's punted.
Insane.
Have not punted.
That's
insane.
I
can just tell you what it is. Him and Cliff Kingsbury have created a good chemistry to themselves. Now, and I'll get into the negative side of that for a little bit, but right now they created a good chemistry. It's spread out. It's opening up the run lanes for him if he got to take it or not. They brought in Zach Ertz, who was an amazing, security blanket for him. Him and Terry McLaurin is finally starting to get together. Luke McCaffrey. I mean, when they throw him the ball, man, he does some good things.
Yeah.
Crazy as it sounds, and a lot of people need to probably talk about it. Washington's actually might have the best draft class overall. From Luke McCaffrey, their tackle, for a lot of people that don't know, I think his last name is Coleman. I can't remember his first name, but he's their left tackle. He looks good. So now you just got what you look like is a left tackle in the draft compared with your young QB. You got Luke McCaffrey. They went and got on defense. His name is, I don't want to butcher it. I think it's Mike Sanders still. He almost looked like Mike Hilton, and he plays just like Mike Hilton. You know, he's a very good slot corner. So then you get that. It's like, man, they had a damn good draft. Everybody is panning out for what it is. You see it elevating. Then you get Cliff Kingsbury. And it just looked like the perfect marriage over there. Brian Robinson, you know, and the crazy thing is Austin Eckler really, you know, before he got hurt last week, he looked like his old self.
So did.
So, he don't look like he lost a step. It looked like he just hurt last year. Now he look like he fully healed. Once you get him back into the mix, you know how dangerous he is. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, the boy has went on for 80% passing, 85% passing. I mean, I think of course, you know what he went for the Bengals last year. I think he only missed 2 passes last week. Of course, with the interception, but still, you know, from that, after that, he kind of bounced back right off of that. You know, it looked like all the guys love playing with Dan Quinn. I mean, he looked like all I hear about from reports and stuff is how much a lot of guys love playing for Dan Quinn. And, you know, it's just like the perfect marriage.
You hear that, Cowboys fans? You hear that, Cowboy fans?
Yeah, I couldn't believe they let him go, but that's, once again, another story for another day. But, yeah, I mean, he looks real. He's the real deal. And from a lot of stuff that I've seen, and I'm going to even roll with it, man, right now you can say he probably could be the best quarterback in the NFC right now. Him and Sam Darnold right there tied neck and neck. Best quarterbacks in the NFC. What it is. I mean, right now, yeah. Right now,
games are showing that. The games are showing that. So that's not too far fetched, brother.
You know, once again, maybe it's just, you know, I'm getting to a certain point. I'm not saying it yet, but I might go there. Right now, man, he's top 5. He's top 5 quarterback in the league. I mean, right now, it's just what it is. And if week 4, things change, everything else like that. Week 4 right now, though, if you was telling me, give me your top 5, he's right there. He's right there. Man, he keep this going because the Commanders got their guy. He keep this going. He very well could be, I mean, top 3 if it's going like that, which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
Long years for him. I'm proud to see the boy do his thing, man. He did it with Doug Williams being there, which that was monumental to see, and that was cool to see. He even wore a Doug Williams shirt, so that's probably even more huge for Doug Williams to have, man. So, you know, good on for the Commanders. Good on for the Commanders there. That's my spiel for that game.
Yeah, no, brother. I listen. Now, obviously, I'm part of it because I have him on fantasy, but in all seriousness, like this is very similar, and I know you probably heard this before. This is very similar to last year with the Texans, bro. Like, you know, the one thing about being drafted number 2 overall is that you consequently get compared to number 1 overall, and the more you play, like, you know, above your expectation, the more it brings, you know, goodwill and fandom to your organization. For instance, like I said, sadly, he's going to get compared to Caleb Williams, right? Like, he was a Heisman winner, easily could have went number 1, but there was reports that Chicago had no interest whatsoever. They didn't even interview him. Everybody knew that they were going to go get Caleb Williams. Yeah. Well, given the way he's playing right now, I mean, it is quite literally the same way the Panthers looked after C.J. Stroud started having that, and this was why I said last time we talked, is like you see the potential now, like you see his peak and what he can be at his absolute best now, and you don't have to it's like the complete opposite of Trevor Lawrence. Like, he got paid all of that money because people are like, oh man, like he's showing flashes, like he had that comeback win, that playoff game, and then there was nothing right afterwards. And I'm just like, you hope to see that from Caleb Williams at some point, but right now it's the Jayden Daniels show, and it is actually even better to see that for all the crap, and me included, that Cliff Kingsbury was getting as a head coach. That brother is a damn good offensive coordinator, bro. He is a damn good offensive coordinator. So yeah, I am with you though, man. It is not too far fetched to call him definitely one of the best, if not the best, in the NFC. But I mean, given his trajectory right now, I'm not mad at you if you say he's top 3 in the NFL by the end of the season if he keeps it up. So
nah, but that's my slate of games that I like for week 3 there, man. That was I mean, there's a lot of other ones that we know we can go in on. Some of them that's definitely.
Well, real quick, this one is for Pops. I know for Cincinnati fans,
Yes.
We'll briefly talk about our feelings about that game, but just real quick, my Pops out there, he listened to the cast, man. He wants to know your thoughts on real quick on the Browns and Raiders, good brother. Pops.
This is hey, shout out Mr. Mosby, man. This is I mean the Browns for the offensive side. I'll keep it quick and short. Offensive side, man, the O line is beat up, so that is for what it's worth, man. Should Deshaun look better? He did look better. He did look a little better. But like I said, he was trying to work with what he could out there. Honestly, they low-key could have won because that Amari Cooper play didn't get called back. That was crucial too. But once again, playing with a beat-up O-line here. I just want Kevin Stefanski to just mesh in what he like doing and mesh it in with Deshaun Watson, or figure out really what makes Deshaun Watson comfortable and just try to get something fully out of him. You got good enough weapons out there to still salvage this thing. I know you don't have Njoku out there who is supposedly coming back to people. You still got Judy, who you paid Judy. Now, I'm not going to just say the offense has been fully bad because, Amari Cooper, my boy, Amari Cooper has not played well. He has had some times where he has dropped some very easy ones. He is not. He is just not. He looks almost checked out though. Another reason why I think,
rightfully so,
my honest opinion, I think he's gonna be a Chief, but that's a different thing for another day. I think they're just gonna get him out of there.
We gonna talk about that. We gonna talk about it real good.
That's different for another day. Your boy Nick Chubb coming back. I saw the videos today, so they got that. But like I said, the offense still just looks like a little bit out of flux. Even same thing, the defense still looks good, but the offense got to get something because the defense it can only do so much. The Raiders side, we know what's going on with Devontae Adams. He didn't play last week. Quarterback plays rough. Gardner Minshew, sadly, it's rough, man. Zamir White ain't it. Alexander Madison is, if that's who you saying that's it, then you got a problem there too. Even though I think he's doing enough, he ain't gonna be what you need. Honestly, what it looked like Antonio Pierce is going out here, and this is my last thoughts. He's basically trying to look like he's trying to recreate y'all. He's trying to make them the Steelers of the AFC North. I mean the AFC West, where we're gonna try to get really good at the run game, have some decent wide receivers out there, and a quarterback that can at least protect the ball. Yeah. And then we're just gonna try to have a dominant defense. Yeah, that's what we're gonna try to do out there. That's what it looks like AP is trying to recreate out there. Hopefully with next year, with him trying to look at a quarterback and everything, he finds that right quarterback that fits that and at least gets some good enough weapons out there. I like Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker's good. Of course, you got Brock Bowers, so you can build off of that, and that'll be that there. But yeah, it just underwhelming game on both ends. A lot of questions going to need to be answered. The Raiders did win that one. So, like I said, a lot of things going to be getting questioned with Kevin Stefanski and everything like that. Interesting to see how this goes week 5. They have the Commanders this week, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes. If Deshaun Watson can light this up, because that secondary is still porous. So, but we'll get to that later and everything like that. So that's my thoughts on the game there, man.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't really have too much thoughts on this, Pops. Seriously, Kevin Stefanski, you've won Coach of the Year twice now with quarterbacks that are not your starters. If you can't get this together, I'm going to call him a fraud, and rightfully so. Now, there's a lot that you could put on Deshaun Watson. There really is, and he's not playing well at all. But the reality is like he's young. This is not a Russell Wilson situation where he was like banged up and, the years just finally starting to catch up to him. Like he's relatively young. Find out what works and let it be. Let it be. Honestly, you had mentioned the whole Amari Cooper thing. I hate to say this like this, but I know people give Jerry Jeudy a lot of slack for his time in Denver, but I think that needs to be the main option. at least as far as targets are concerned on a game-to-game basis. It just seems that there is a better flow with Deshaun when he has a trust factor in the middle or somebody that can trail with him when he wants to start running. Like, I would say feel free to lean into that until you get Nick Chubb back and David Njoku. Yeah. And if that needs to be your primary receiver, that's you funneling a lot of your targets so that you can at least move the chains, then do that. But I am on the brink of calling Kevin Stefanski a fraud. I am very serious about to call him a fraud. And I know that might be a hot take, but like you've had Joe Flacco, who else? Baker Mayfield and another backup. Like you've made it work with everybody else. The minute that you get a $200+ million guaranteed quarterback, now all of a sudden you can't work in that. It's the quarterback fault. I'm not going for that. So lastly, for Cincinnatians out there, man, they finally got a dub. There's that, right? They finally got a dub. I don't have too much thoughts on this game. I'm gonna let you start off, but was there anything that you learned from that game?
The only thing I learned is their defense stinks.
Boom!
They can't stop the run.
It's over.
They can't stop. They can't stop anything right now.
Yes.
I want Cam Taylor-Britt to pack it up, stop talking, just play. I want these linebackers to play. I want these D linemen to play. Because Chuba Hubbard looked like Adrian Peterson.
All pro? He look all pro?
All day. I mean, my God. I mean, man, it was just their defense is rough. Offense, though, is coming along just fine. Once again, I was listening to another podcast. Very wild to me for somebody to say, but somebody said the Bengals look just equivalent to the Raiders. I said, hold on now, buddy.
I ain't saying all that, brother.
Yeah. You know, I get it. You're going to have some flash takes, some engagement or whatever, anything like that. That offense looks good. Offense look like it's flowing, man. Running backs, they finally getting in tune. Is Chase Brown going to take over? I think he should, but it's a different topic for another day. One thing that needs to get shouted out, and the Bengals are finally should be happy about, they have an offensive line now. So there's that. I think they, you know, last thing I saw online, I think they O-line is ranked top 5 or something like that, around top 6 or 5. So there you go. It just sucks that they have a trash defense. They remind me of, and I was thinking about this when you had mentioned about it earlier. They remind me of, what team was it? This is gonna take it back. It's and I don't know if people don't really remember them, but it's the 2011 Saints? No, not them. The 2015. My bad. 2015 Saints. Where Drew Brees, I think he went for like 5,000 yards again that year or something like that. They couldn't stop nobody though. Yeah, it was just. I believe it was that team. I'm gonna have to double check, but I know it's one of those Saints team where Drew Brees had went for like 5,000 plus yards. Defense couldn't stop a soul though. And then they got in the playoffs, and of course, you know,
that was the Rams game.
That was 2017.
Okay.
2017, 2018. 2015 Saints, I believe that wasn't the year with Michael Thomas, the year before. But I remember that was one of the years I think Drew Brees had broke a record. No, that was the year after. But 2015, I believe, the New Orleans Saints, that's the team they remind me of where, you know, score with whoever, defense is just what it is. It's just what it is.
What happens when you got all your talent on offense, man?
Yeah, for one more year, huh? One more year.
Yeah.
So, I like the D coordinator though, but he gonna have to really, you know, crank something out of this one. They gonna have to something, man. I mean, this is it. I don't know if they could trade for somebody. I have to look in and see what defensive people is out there, probably on the block. But yeah, that's all I got from that game. Panthers look good. Panthers look good, man.
They did, and like I said, Bengals fans, we said this before, and I'll say this again. Their biggest enemy ever since that Super Bowl run is welcome to the cap space era, where now you got to figure out how to make a good team without a plethora of money at your disposal.
I mean, the front office was going to come down to it at the end of the day. Front office.
Well, it's funny you had mentioned the Saints. I was like, I vividly remember this with the Steelers, man. When they every year when it was obviously there was the Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell years. where they kept everybody was like, oh yeah, the Steelers should be favored, and then every time we got to the damn playoffs, we couldn't win anything because our defense kept giving. We gave up what 50 plus points to a Jaguars team with Blake Bortles.
That's a good
thing. And you go up and let Chuba Hubbard go off like that. Yeah, it's that's a good point. Welcome to the cap space era, baby.
Yes.
This is what that looks like. A lot of money in your quarterback, and you're gonna have to figure it out. So,
yep.
But yeah, I agree with you on that. Okay, well, listen. Speaking of future teams and past teams, have you ever seen that show What If on Disney Plus, that Marvel show?
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, wifey done watched it. I only caught a couple episodes, but basically, for those that have not watched that show, it's basically a way of Marvel, tapping into multiple universes of like, if such and such would have happened in this universe, here's what would have happened in the alternate universe. With the amount of trades that have been speculated, one being namely who you just mentioned, Amari Cooper. I want to play a quick game of that. We only get two apiece. It's the what if game.
Yep.
What each one of us gets, we're gonna ping pong it. We're gonna tell the audience here and the fans our thoughts on what players we think should end up on teams and what would the result be if they ended up landing with said team. So do you want to start this off, or
you go ahead?
Hold up. I ain't got no coin on me. Oh, I do got a coin on me. I got a coin on me.
Like that.
Yeah, what you got? Heads or tails?
I'll go tails.
Tails it is, y'all.
Wow. Man, I can't even see it. Oh, that is tails.
Can you see it?
Wow. Well,
it's that gold coin. It's that gold coin. I don't know if you can see it now. All right.
Gold balloons.
All right. First, who you got, man?
Man. I think we're all out there on the trade. I know it's all a lot of wide receivers. Let's see here. I'm not going to go with the obvious one.
You can go as obvious as you want to, brother.
I'll go since we just mentioned it. I'll go Amari Cooper.
Okay.
For me.
What if he was traded to who?
If he was traded to the Chiefs, which I honestly think he's gonna go. I just think they're gonna try. They need something. If he was to go to the Chiefs, I mean, pair him with Xavier Worthy in that offense. You tell me they can't at least get back there to the Super Bowl with that defense? So how could it not? I mean, that's exactly works of Amari Cooper alley right there. Open him up in space, get him out there in one-on-one. I mean, I'm not saying he can do what Rashee Rice do, but he can do just about the same. Get him in motion. He can do everything. Amari Cooper is still a really good wide receiver. I think he just checked out. He get there. There you go. Back to the Super Bowl it is. I ain't saying they're gonna do a 4-peat. I mean a 3-peat. Crazy, but I will say they can get back. So I'm gonna go with them.
That's not super far fetched, and I think everybody would have the Chiefs' favorite if
I got a second one, but we'll go to this.
Okay, all right, keep it. I got one for you.
Yeah.
This is obviously, and I gotta mention my boys in this because we were in trade talks, but it's not gonna be for who you think. The Tennessee Titans are absolutely garbage. Absolutely garbage. And I feel like your boy DeAndre Hopkins is going to be on the move once again.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so. And the Steelers have made it very clear that we need another wide receiver. Now, everybody had, before the season started, I will admit that I was on the Brandon Ayuk train. I felt like he meshed well with what we were trying to do. And then I started thinking about it, like what we had to offer just to get somebody like him. Like, it's probably not worth it, but if you can pull it off, great. But then I start like just like you, brother, just like you. You know your team. You know your team, and the Steelers are bargain shoppers. They are bargain shoppers, and they want people who are either off the cliff that they can develop or just now getting into the league that they can develop on their own terms. And DeAndre Hopkins to the Steelers is very reasonable. It is very reasonable to me. Now hear me out on this. Now, yes, we have George Pickens, and George Pickens is going to be a phenomenal talent in this league. Problem is, George Pickens is still very childish. You had a game last week where he played, where we were playing against the Colts, had a very boneheaded fumble. And that is going to be the leader of your wide receiver group. Not saying he can't do it. I just don't know if he can do it yet, if that makes sense. And having an older DeAndre Hopkins who fits well with a mobile quarterback who, for intents and purposes, can be your all-purpose wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Sadly enough, George Pickens is not the most complete route runner. But having somebody like DeAndre Hopkins, and we know DeAndre is not fully in it for just like, championship purposes. Otherwise, he wouldn't have ended up in Tennessee. And I hate to say that, but we remember we had a whole conversation about that. We had a whole conversation. I'm like, why would you choose a team like that? And granted, it's not all about championships to some people, and I respect that. Yeah. But what I can say is, if he were to come to the Steelers, one, granted he didn't come during the Arthur Smith time with Tennessee, but he is very familiar with a run first offense. Yeah. And I think that would be a oddly strange match made in heaven. For a person like Justin Fields, who needs a sure-handed wide receiver that can run the route tree and get open and see what we can do with an aging DeAndre Hopkins. I feel like that is very reasonable. So it reminds me when D'Angelo Williams was remember that? And we were like, bro, why would we do that? And he balled when Le'Veon went down. He balled. So it fits right well with them, and I'm marking it, brother. I'm marking it right now. I hear all the Devontae Adams chatter. I'm like, nah, that don't sound like the Steelers, man. It don't sound like the Steelers. Don't sound like it. So that's my what if. You got another one?
Man, so I was torn between one of these. I was thinking on it. I was like, man, I was gonna go running back. I was like, that running back, if everything could do it, but I'll go to the one where I'm kind of more interested in, just because I'm like, maybe this is how it's going to go based on, which I'd be odd, but I'm going to go tight end here. And since I mentioned that, people will probably get an idea here. I'm going to go Mark Andrews. I just think
high-five me through the screen, bro. Yes, now, sir.
Once again, it very well might not happen, but if something just come around and they just feel like, man, listen, we just gotta get him out of here, blah blah blah, or he might get frustrated. Who knows? I don't know. But if he was to just be, hey, I'm ready to get traded, who I think he would go to, and granted, is it gonna be a game-changing move? No, but I think it'd be good for them to keep him going in the right direction. I think Mark only 29, so he still got to me, the way he looked, like he got a couple good more years left in the tank. It would be the Denver Broncos. The reason why I think that, and I get it, I know a lot of people used to talk of their young tight end, Greg Dulcich or whatever, everything else like that, but you get Mark Andrews there, that would play in perfect with what Sean Payton is trying to do. Like that would, with Bo Nix and everything like that, that would work in perfect to where it'd be like, all right, well, we still got not so much older. I mean, he's not a reeling, falling off the edge type of older star. He's still got some juice in the tank. He's not falling off too much like Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton still got enough, but if you give him Mark Andrews to where now I can really get my quarterback going, we can still run the ball here. We can get off those nice little dink and dunks across the middle, because that's what Sean Payton likes to attack. He likes to attack the middle of the field. Yeah. And that's Bo Nix' wheelhouse right there. So if you get him doing that, you got him the security blanket, Then after that, you got somebody Greg Dulcich can learn from and still get groomed up. Now he get pushed over to that tight end too. You got a better blocker at the tight end position there because now you can run the ball the way you want it to do. Why not be the Denver Broncos? They don't look like a bad team. They really got one of the most underrated defenses. You know, they look like they somewhat going in the right direction. If any team I can see pulling that one, it would be that one.
Wow, brother.
So
now we talked about. I know you felt like he needed to be traded, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I did not know you had the Broncos on your list, though, bro.
Broncos would be the. I was trying to think like, who would really use a tight end of his caliber at this time? And I'm like, oh, it'll be them. I was gonna go to Chargers real quick because that's Greg Roman out there.
I got one for that, brother. I got one for that.
But that was that one there on that one. I was like, I think the Broncos would be perfect for what Sean Payton trying to roll out there, and that'd be
interesting
for the young QB. I think that'd be solid for the young QB.
Interesting. Okay, so I've been torn between those two, but we are clearly in sync today, which I love, man. So I was going to talk about Adam Thielen and him getting traded potentially. It's just one, they're going to have to start getting some capital over there with the Panthers. I know that they playing well, but they're not going to win the division. They're definitely going to have a high draft pick.
Yeah.
I mean, you can salvage it for the fans, but I don't think it's going to do much. But now that he's hurt, I had to back off of that thought a little bit more. So I'm actually going to pivot because I was going to originally say Adam Thielen to the Bills, but I don't know if that's going to be as sexy of a pick anymore because he's hurt and we don't know how long he's going to be hurt for.
Yeah.
However, I don't think this will happen, but I am intrigued by the thought of this happening.
Uh-huh.
It is Cooper Kupp. Okay? It is Cooper Kupp. Now, listen, we done talked about the Rams. It looks Now listen, the only reason why I'm saying this, brother, is because they have clearly been hit with the injury bug mad early this year.
Yeah.
Mad early.
Uh-huh.
And in a division where you got the Seahawks and the Cardinals just trying to make a push, plus the 49ers who are always going to try to make sure that they competitive for a Super Bowl run. I'm just like, is it worth trying to overcome this year the amount of stuff that they are going through? You know you're going to have a future wide receiver one of Puka Nacua. You definitely got some talent in Tutu Atwell and Jordan Whittington. And you clearly got a running back one back there. They got an RB1 back there with Kyron and hopefully a rising star in Blake Corum. So I feel like they got the pieces in play to move forward. I just don't know if that's going to include Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp. They're aging and they're becoming cap casualties at this point. And so I was thinking, what if in a world out there in an alternate universe, if Cooper Kupp was traded, you can get a decent package for Cooper Kupp. Pause. Yeah. You can get a decent little deal with Cooper Kupp. But what if he magically found his way still in LA, but with the Chargers? Now, mind you, brother, I understand they got Lamar McConkey, and I understand that they're hoping that he's going to be the guy. Yeah. But they don't have a true wide receiver one there that can run the full route tree. And the problem that the Chargers are having right now is identity-wise, they're trying to be this run-first team, which is cool. I get it. But there is no pizzazz to that team whatsoever. I'm a firm believer that the team's personality or identity should firmly represent a city. And I just feel like trying to be like this, hard-nosed, blue-collar run team is just it's just not. It doesn't feel right, and it just doesn't seem like something that is sustainable long-term, especially in a division like that they're in. And I'm just like, you need some pop. You need some pop somewhere. And, Quentin Johnson, hopefully he can be that guy, but you want a vet. They don't have a vet there right now for real. Yeah. And I was just like, what if, you could sell Cooper Kupp over to the Chargers. He get to stay in LA right? He gets to stay in LA. But now you got somebody that can teach up Lamb McConkey and hopefully do a route tree, mentor Quentin Johnson on a route tree and get him to be the pop and that we are looking for. Your boy, I'm blanking on his name. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't. Quarterback. Justin Herbert. There we go. We're looking for Justin Herbert to get back into his old form. Like, he can't just be a drop back handoff kind of guy, bro. That's not why you drafted him. So I'm looking forward to him being in an offense that has some reliable wide receivers that they can depend on. Because the one thing I will say is you get Justin Herbert in a play action with Cooper Kupp and them boys, then that put a little fear in my heart. That put a little fear in my heart.
It works some.
Yeah, man. So that's my what if, man. That's my what if. But I will admit, brother, I like the Mark Andrews to the Broncos. That's a little. I didn't know that was on your radar, brother.
It just came around. I was like, man, where else? Where could he fit in? And I'm like, if anybody would do it, and he had Jimmy Graham out that way back in the day.
Yeah, I like it.
Hey, listen. A lot of these can all play out in a crazy way. The Cooper Kupp one, and the amount of more I sit here and think about, I'm like, yeah, I mean, they beat up by injuries, and they only got so much left they can really give. It's like, man, am I gonna waste my guy who is 29, 30? And even though he still looked good. I mean, clearly we saw how he looked before he got hurt and stuff like that. He still looked good enough. And it's like, man, what else could he do? That's a good point. The LA one would be interesting. That actually would make the most sense.
Get him out the conference.
See how you thought you
get to stay home?
Because you thought the Bills at first. I could see you was trying to go that route at first, probably, but yeah, the LA they'll probably be more humming for it because they definitely do need a vet coming in. I'm pretty sure next year they're gonna draft a young wide receiver, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. They'll probably draft another one. So yeah,
in an alternate universe.
Justin need, honestly. That's what Justin needs, honestly. So
thank you. So yeah, but real quick, brother, because we got to get into our we definitely got to get into our fast forward picks of the weekend.
Yeah.
So I just want do you have the slate of games for this week?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
now shout out to is Rumpke a Cincinnati-based company? Do we know that?
That one I can't speak to it. I don't want to.
I never knew. I've been to one of their landfills in Cincinnati. I just assumed that they were.
You've been to the dump, huh?
Yeah, hey, listen, brother. It wasn't by choice. It was not by choice. But I did want to real quick, man. We always show love to all the games here, but let's be real. There are two games out there that are potential crap games, and so we want to give a shout out to the Rumpke Bowl for folks out here. Rumpke Bowl game of the week. What's your Rumpke Bowl game of the week this week, bro?
I feel terrible about doing this. I just feel, man, I'm so sorry, guys.
It's okay, brother.
Sorry.
I know which one's on my list, bro. If we're on one accord, we might be able to.
Man, you know me, man, and I hate to do this to it because I'm a fan of them, man. But this is gonna be the dumpster juice of the week for me. The Rumpke Bowl of the weekend gonna be the Dolphins and the Patriots for me.
Actually, that was not on my radar, but I will give that to you. I see where you're coming from.
That is going to be the toilet bowl I've seen some people put out there, and I was like, all right, watch your mouth. But
got you.
That is going to be. I mean, we're down to our fifth O lineman on our tackle side. You saw what Miami looked like at the quarterback. God, two in the. I mean, I that's a different story for another day. But man, Tyreek and Jalen Waddle don't deserve that. But man, their defense even looked like they were struggling. They can't stop the run. So Ramondre fumbling. Crazy work that's going on, bro. Yeah. So that's mine right there.
Okay. I did not think you were gonna go there, but I understand your thought process. So shout out to you for being Right. Listen, shout out to you for being humble. I was actually not going there. However, I wonder if you agree with me on this one. Originally, I was gonna talk about the Bears and the Panthers, but both of them have started playing better. It's actually the Colts and the Jaguars, good brother. Colts and the Jaguars are on my Rumpke Bowl game of the week. Now, granted, now just hear me out on this one. This is contingent upon who plays at quarterback. Now, I know Anthony Richardson, he looked like he was okay to play after last week. So we will see. It was a hip injury. But ultimately, I don't care for neither one of those offenses. Jonathan Taylor is on trajectory not to play. You might have Anthony Richardson back there, right? Yeah. If he does come back, that man is a turnover machine and inaccurate as I don't know what.
Yeah.
And then you got a Jaguars team coming into town who has not even won a game yet.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, even if they do win this game, they're looking at potentially calling it a season. I mean that in all seriousness. The way that I don't know what happened between last year and now between Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if it was the money. I don't know. I do not know. But what I do know is that this offense is absolutely anemic. Like
they look better last week. They look better.
They did look better, but I'm like anything. Look, we want to look at this right now. I don't like anything that is. They have the Jags -3 on ESPN for this game. Do you like the thought of that?
Yes.
You like the thought of the Jags
because the Colts defense is atrocious, and the one thing that I do let the Jags do well, and they, like I said, they look better because now they finally realizing, why don't we just start getting Christian Kirk involved, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Fair enough.
And Brian Thomas is coming along as well. But one thing I did see from last week, and the Texans is good at it, is they can stop the run. They ran the ball against them pretty well. The Colts, I think the Colts is number 2 as the second worst run defense. so that's why I'm like, now if they lose, then man, it's a difference. Then we're gonna have a lot of conversations there. But I can see why because of what's been going on. I definitely see why. You don't want to see Joe Flacco out there.
Brother, I mean, even if that's why I said it's contingent upon who's at quarterback. But honestly, I don't. One, Anthony Richardson does not look good, and even if Joe Flacco is out there, that tells you a lot about where that team is going this year, bro. Honestly, now I ain't saying Joe Flacco is a bummer or nothing. Like he can still clear play, but I'm like, in the year of 2024, we're talking about Joe Flacco leading the Colts,
led the Browns.
I mean. Like who got waxed by the Texans in the playoffs?
It does.
You know what I mean? So
it could be a nasty shootout. It might be a nasty.
That's where I was about to go. The over under is 46.5.
It's probably gonna be a shootout.
Like
nasty shootout.
Like I don't like nothing about this game, bro. I don't want to take the under on a game like this, but I feel like most of the points are going to be scored in the fourth quarter, because they're going to be forced to try to match each other. I feel like because the Colts can't stop nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is going to be an ugly game. You want to know what I would want to bet? I would want to bet the amount of turnovers in this game. I would love to bet the turnover.
If it's a lot
in this game,
I'm quite disappointed because I really don't expect a lot in this game. To be quite honest, I just think it's just going to be just back and back because they both their defense. So I'm surprised you didn't go with the Raiders and Broncos. I swear I thought it was about to come out your mouth.
No, oddly enough, no. Now that is a good one. The only reason why I didn't put them on there is now that they're getting all this Devontae Adams stuff out the way, it feels like Antonio Pierce is going to have more of his stamp on what he wants to do. Now, granted, I will agree that game can still be very ugly. But the one thing I will say is the Broncos just came off of a win that they probably didn't expect to have against the Jets. And so I'm like, well, maybe this is Maybe this is the high tide that Sean Payton was looking for with his team. You get a nice little game from the Jets, and then you get to follow that up with a Raiders team that needs to get a win. I don't think they're going to, but they need to get a win. I think it'll be a decent outing. I don't know. Listen, I will say this much. I don't know what the Raiders offer as an offense. So I definitely understand where you're going with that. I don't know what they offer as an offense, but one thing, like I said, I will say is I feel like Antonio Pierce is going to try to your point, try to run the hell out of that ball, keep it a low-scoring game, and see if Gardner Minshew can make some magic happen with Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. But I agree with you. That probably should have. But I don't like nothing about that Colts game, bro.
I understand. There's
nothing about it. I would as a better I don't want nothing to do with that game, bro. I feel more comfortable about betting something for the Raiders Broncos than I would of that game, bro. And I mean that. Like Travis Etienne hasn't looked that good, like running the ball. Now, granted, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like nothing about it. It
should be a get well game. Is what it be for the running backs. It should be. Like I said, they can't stop.
We'll see.
You saw how much Joe Mixon ran on them. So
we'll see, bro. We will see.
I got Travis on another team, so I am going to have to be tuned into that game. I am going to be.
Okay. Well, with that being said, brother, keep that slate of games open because we are going to move into our fast forward picks of the week, bro. So I'm gonna just name the game off. You give me who you think's gonna win that game, and then do you want to do a bet inside, or do you just want to say you're like a brief reason why you think that the winner's gonna win that game?
We'll give a quick little synopsis on why.
Okay,
done great.
We'll ping pong. I'll go. Is Jets Vikings? Listen here, brother. Now that's an early morning game. I will take the low-hanging fruit here and take the Minnesota Vikings. However, oddly enough,
it's indoors. So.
Yes, and I feel like if there is ever a game for the Jets to rebound, it would be a game like this.
That's true.
For betting purposes, I would.
It's London,
right? That's an overseas game, so technically it's neutral field, if you ask me. Hey, I'm taking the low-hanging fruit. I will take the Vikings on this, but mostly because it's the Sam Darnold revenge game, and that is my ultimate factor right there.
I feel you. I do.
That is ultimately it is. If there's ever a game for Sam Darnold to go off, it'll be this one. Okay, you get the good one though, brother. Ravens Bengals.
That's the good one, huh? No, hate to tell you this, guys. I know it's here in Cincinnati. I'm going to Ravens, man, and it's so hardly because of that defense over there in Cincinnati. I don't see anything that moves me on that defense. Clearly, Chuba Hubbard ran for 100 yards. What you think the big man gonna do over there? What you think Lamar gonna do over there? Little sneaky that I think could happen. This might be the game where Mark and Isaiah get involved. I could see this happening for sure. Because after seeing what they did last week, DC should be saying, we got to take the runaway and see if they can pass. So I think this was going to happen. So I'm going to go Ravens here. Ravens, 2.5.
2.5, brother.
Like that. I don't like that at all because Vegas knows something. We'll move on, though. I'm going to go Ravens, but I don't like that.
I think I think it's a rivalry game, and if I'm not mistaken, haven't the Bengals had the Ravens number the past couple of seasons?
They beat them in Cincinnati last year. Remember they came out last? They blew them out convincingly.
Yes,
I think it's because of the I guess last year when he got hurt in Baltimore, everybody was saying F Joe Burrow. So you know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
So
interesting. We will see. We will see.
It is what it is. I'm taking the pick.
Hey, be bold with your pick, brother. Be bold. I get the Rumpke Bowl game of the week though. Colts and Jaguars.
Yeah, you do.
Oddly enough, I'm taking the Jaguars on this one. This has absolutely nothing to do with football insight. The one thing that you did mention earlier did stand out to me about the run defense, but honestly, if you don't win this game, Jaguars, you're gonna have to call it a season. They're gonna have to call it a season.
Dougie P.
Yeah. So that's honestly the reason. I'm like, if you don't, they have to come out with some fire, bro. And this is the game to do it. Your best player in my I guess Christian Kirk would probably be the best player, but your all-around player and Travis Etienne has looked like garbage for most of the years thus far. This is, to your point, a get-right game.
You have to use him.
So I'm taking the Jaguars in that game. You get your boys, though. Dolphins, Patriots. Your Rumpke Bowl.
I thought you were gonna go Browns, Commanders.
Nah. I can go back to back.
We'll go Dolphins, Patriots. Oh man, the Dolphins and Pats. Man. The Pats. Roll with them, huh? Give me the Pats, man. Our defense is a lot better than theirs. We got. I hate to tell y'all this, but we got one of the best corners in the league creeping up on it. Christian Gonzalez is a problem. That's our real. He very well might be a Pro Bowler this year. He keep it going. He take out. I'm not gonna say take out Tyreek because of what's going on at the quarterback, but he take out Tyreek. Yeah, man, you might as well keep it going. Ramondre did get benched though for our fantasy people out there. He might be getting benched.
I can't see that, bro. He got paid.
The Patriots way, bro. He fumbled 4 times, back-to-back games, 4 times.
I feel it.
And the one thing that I do remember, and I've always heard it from me following the Patriots, is always preach: ball security means job security. If you're gonna fumble 4 times, and trust me, it don't. It's because we so bad on offense. It shouldn't happen, but it's got to happen though. He got to realize that, bro. You done fumbled 4 times, and we paying you. We'll put Antonio Gibson. He is going to play. We only got 2 running backs, so he's going to play. So, but he's not starting. But I'm gonna give it to us. I don't know what we're going to look like on defense, but their D-line don't really scare me nothing crazy, but our O-line's bad. They got Tyler Huntley starting again. Like I said, I think our defense is good enough. So,
yes, sir.
We'll win 7-3. So,
I like it. That is a fair assessment. Browns, Commanders. Listen, huh?
Your dad.
Yeah, listen here, pops. Listen. There's nothing that you liked about the Browns this year, and there's no reason for me to believe that they are going to keep this gravy train rolling, or at least in the negative way. They are. I don't listen. For what it's worth. I think this is more of a game for Jaden Daniels than it is for just like the ineptitude of the Browns, and that's really where I'm going with. Yeah, man.
They might move one. They might move.
Yeah, man. Yes. Listen, bro. I'm not about to harp too much on this, but what are we playing for as the Browns right now? I don't see it, bro. I don't see it. And the worst part is now you got a mobile quarterback that you got to come to town with, and that's the easiest way to nullify a defensive line, which is their strength. So I don't see it, bro. I don't see it. I trust their corners, but they just playing too good right now.
Yeah.
Next game, Bills, and I'm taking the Commanders if I didn't say that. Bills, Texans. Who you got, bro?
Ooh, Stephon Diggs revenge game. Buffalo is favorite +1. I mean, sorry, not favorite. They're under +1. This is the Stephon Diggs revenge game. They are in Houston.
Ooh.
They're in Houston. No Joe Mixon though kind of gets me a little worried because I think that, but they did it without a run game for last year. So because Cam Akers is the same, he just hasn't.
He's not it, bro.
He didn't look it. He should have looked it against the Jags, and he didn't. So, if Tank Dell come back, not if, but I think he is coming back. I think he will play. I'm gonna go with the Texans here.
After a Bills loss,
I
talk
get it.
To be nice.
I get it, man. It is after the loss, but I think that I just believe that this is a defense that CJ can carve up. Right now, him and Nico and Diggs are creating a chemistry that looks unmatched.
That's nasty.
Especially Nico. Nico is, I get it. A lot of people say he arrived last year, and I know he did arrive. But I mean, when I mean arrive, I think this year is saying like, oh, he's like he creeping up in that top 5. Like
Yeah.
he mess around. He mess around, be top 3. He keep playing.
Yep.
But I think they can. I think that's where it's going at with them. I think D'Amico Ryans is going to get that defense rolling. I'm a huge believer in D'Amico Ryans. I know their defense hasn't looked the way it should, but I'm a huge believer in him as a coach of the defensive side, that he can get that together to mitigate Josh Allen. He's always done pretty good against really rushing quarterbacks, anyways. So I think he can do it. So I'm going to roll with the Texans here. It's going to be close. It's going to be close, y'all. I know it. It's going to be close. But I'm going to roll with the Texans here on this one. Be a homer.
Well. I like it, brother. I like it. We got Bears and Panthers here. Listen here, man. Listen here. I'm not the most sane person sometimes when it comes to my picks, and I will admit that.
Chicago.
Chicago -4. Listen here, brother. I'm gonna actually take this as an upset of the week. I am taking the Panthers. Now, just hear me out on this real quick before I move on.
Understandable.
Now, I understand that the Bears offense is Bears defense has been pretty decent throughout the year. But there is just something about like a quarterback that go into games and really ain't got much to lose, bro. And I just feel like, listen, I will say this much. The reason why I'm taking them, I feel like the Panthers, their offense is clicking, and that's really all they have as far as like team chemistry is concerned. They have a decent offense that can score points, but I think that they're going to make Caleb Williams try to will them back. I do think that. So if they do if I am wrong in this pick, this will be the Caleb Williams coming out game. Okay? This will be the Caleb Williams coming out game. If he can't do it this game, then he's just not meant, to do it this year. I'm not going to call him a bust, but I'm going to take the Panthers on that one. I think Andy Dalton going to put him in a bind early and see if he can catch up.
Red Rock, he has been feeling himself. I will say that.
He has.
He letting that thing go.
He is. Next up, the Booty Bowl. Right. Raiders and Broncos, dog. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro.
Under it, over 35.5. I'm trying to find out if I can find a upset here. I'm not seeing it, man. Maybe you might see something different than what I'm looking at. Maybe I'm just blind to the BS. The Broncos should win this one convincingly.
Yep.
Gardner Minshew has not proved me anything. Like I said earlier, man, the Broncos probably have the scariest really an underrated defense. And it's ideally because of number 2 over there on defense. He is taking away everybody's number 1. Everybody. Patrick Surtain is erasing number 1s. I mean, and that's a cheat code. Because then after that, we can go ahead and funnel everybody else to whatever you want to do. So take away Jacoby Myers. No disrespect. That should be a hard day to off. Should be the hard day to offer for PS2. You know what I'm saying? And Bo Nix. Granted, it was it was raining very bad. I didn't realize how bad it was raining up there in New York, but he made plays where it mattered. You know what I'm saying? It's a good second. So, I don't. Raiders defense is all right, but I think they can handle it. So I'm gonna go with the Broncos here on this one, big dog.
It is okay. All right. It is an individual rivalry game, but that probably won't mean much.
They haven't shown me enough to be like, oh yeah,
I get it.
If it was like, if you would have asked me about the Chiefs and the Chargers last week, then yeah, I probably would link the Chargers because I'm like, the Chargers at least can run the ball, and I see it. I haven't seen nothing with Zamir and them boys, and then now, like I said, Devontae ain't out there.
Yep.
Brock can only do so much.
I ain't mad at that, bro. I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at it at all. Broncos it is. Cardinals at 49ers. Ew. Okay. Okay. Whoa. So they're taking this. This is a touchdown.
Yeah, they give them 7, and I think that's all in on the Cardinals. But that's just my take.
Thank you. I will. Ooh. Good Lord. Is is everybody coming back for the 49ers?
No, it's
For
just
the most part?
it's just that the defense on
Is Debo back?
Yeah, Debo. He playing. They get Trey McBride back though. On the Cardinals.
So they get Trey McBride back. Listen, I'm actually gonna play history on this one. I will say I think that ultimately the 49ers, if they have all their pieces back, will win. But I'm definitely taking the points though on this one.
I don't know if George gonna play. I don't know if George Kittle gonna play. I saw he was questionable.
Well, even still, I mean, the real reason why I'm gonna take the points on this one for the Cardinals at least is because if memory serves me correct, Kyler has always played the 49ers really well. Yeah. So I don't see why that would stop. And he has better weapons. I don't see why that's
a game like last week. Yeah.
I think the 49ers will ultimately win the game, but I don't think they're gonna win by a touchdown. That is crazy to me. Okay. Packers Rams, brother. Who you got?
Packers and Rams here, man. I feel like I'm just all over the favorites here, I guess, but it just makes so much sense. You know, the Rams is just they down on their last two rounds. I mean, they hanging by a bone here, dog. I mean, they I know they keep on. They be close to pulling them out, man. They almost beat the Bears. Of course, they pulled it out with the Niners, but I'm going Packs here. Jordan Love is back. Like I said, the back end of that game last week, he started to get real comfortable. And you saw it in him, man. I think, like I told you, I think this is your boy's breakout here. I think this is a Josh Jacobs game for sure.
Hopefully.
Of course, I think a Wicks game as well. Wicks is going to have a good game here as well because their secondary is just what it is on their secondary. So should be all around. It's going to start a little ugly at first, but then I think they're going to start to get themselves back underneath them, and you know, untimely they should be able to get that. They should be able to beat the Rams here. So I'm going to take that.
Packers it is, brother. Giants Seahawks. Now I know that the Seahawks they better win this game. 6.5. I am going to assume
either. So
yeah, once again nothing against the Giants. For fantasy purposes, I will tell people this much. I know we got each other this week. I'm big on Wan'Dale Robinson for the big major fact that I don't know if Malik Neighbors is going to play in this game.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to play this week.
Yeah. So that is the ultimate reason why I think they're going to get smoked because outside of that, the Giants have nothing. And yeah, Geno is going to get his payback for last week, for the game that he just played against the Lions. So I don't see how the Giants make this close, but I could be wrong, but I will certainly take the Seahawks in this game.
We're taking a lot of favorites here. We're taking a lot of favorites.
I know, but it just feels like a favorite week, bro.
It does.
It feels like a favorite week. I told you my biggest upset was the Panthers, bro. That was it.
I know. I'm trying to go back through, and I'm like, man.
There ain't nothing too sexy about this. Maybe the Cardinals. Maybe.
I was going to say maybe the Bengals, but it's the defense.
True.
But then again, everybody clicks on everyone every week. So, damn. But anyway, we continue. What was you about to say?
No, you got the next one. My boys, Cowboys, Steelers. What you thinking?
Oh, man. Once again, are y'all? No, is Najee playing? Najee should be healthy, right? Najee healthy?
Yeah, but I don't know how much playing time he's going to get after his inefficient run game last week. That was brutal, bro. I don't think they're gonna bench him or anything like that. But I don't know if he's gonna get a heavy.
What is going on there?
No, he's not gonna get benched. But Jaylen Warren, I haven't seen if he's healthy or not yet. But they definitely gonna make some adjustments. Like that.
I know Cordell Patterson was questionable. I'm slightly leaning y'all here. I am leaning y'all here just because of they won't have Michael Parsons. Maybe not.
Marcus Lawrence is out too.
Is he? That's what I was thinking. So you got the Marcus Lawrence there. They still don't have Deron Bland back. I know they got Malik Hooker over there, but I think this is a game that is. And I know y'all are y'all favorite. Y'all are favorite, but man, Yeah, y'all are favored, but I still think it could be y'all. It's gonna be a tight one here, because once again, you take away Ferguson and Lamb, know what that run game kind of look like out there in Dallas. I think our defense can definitely shut down Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott
That's
there.
fair.
I'm gonna roll with the Steelers on this one. I think this is actually a game in y'all wheelhouse, especially with Parsons and Lawrence being down. That kind of plays in their wheelhouse. The tackles for the Cowboys, I know they left one is pretty good. That's Smith. It's one of them that's pretty good, but it's TJ Watt. So TJ Watt, Smith. I think this game is right up y'all alley that y'all can win. So I'm gonna go with the Steelers on this one.
Yeah, I actually agree. I don't know if the Cowboys just got the manpower for this game because the Steelers gonna try to put this one in the trenches. So.
Was it 44.5? I think it's a sneaky shootout. I know
Interesting.
y'all put up 30 last week and y'all didn't go crazy with, but I think the Colts have similar.
That's a play. That's a play.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Colts don't have the similar defense, but the Cowboys ain't as good. I mean, the Cowboys are still not as crazy. They're not much better than the Colts defense. They're a little bit. They lost their two heavy hitters right there. I think it's right on y'all. I guess it's the run game because y'all losing Patterson, and then like I said, Najee ain't looked the best. Y'all gonna have Warren out there. I don't know who else y'all would put out there.
I need to see if he's gonna be healthy for that game, but that's gonna tell me a lot too, actually. So that's a good point. Yeah. Lastly, we got Saints and the Chiefs. Now, now listen here, brother. Now, correct me if you think I'm wrong on this. Now, the one thing we both, me and you, have always have been, I know you haven't been big fans of the Saints, but we've all can agree that their defense has low key been the identity of that team.
This has been the year I've been on them, right?
And Dennis Allen comes from that AFC West side of town. He is familiar with the Chiefs. Now, I don't think he's a good coach, but defensively, I think the Saints have everything they need to win this game. I think they have everything they need to win this game. Alvin Kamara's pretty healthy. Looks like Chris Olave and Raheem Shaheed found themselves again after last week.
Yeah.
Am I insane to take an upset, brother?
This one, you're not. I mean, I know it's the Chiefs, and it's like these type of games, it seems like they always find a way to win, but these are some of them they're going to give up here. They are,
brother. Who else is playing quarterback that has some familiarity of beating the Chiefs?
Yeah, he did beat them. Yeah. They did come in there and beat them. Did they? That was with Devontae, or just went to overtime? No, they came in there. He came in there. Yeah.
Derek Carr got some familiarity with a Chiefs team.
He got some familiarity with Kansas City. Yeah.
Yes, I think this is the one I want to take. I think I'm a. Now I know I said my biggest one was the Panthers because how crappy that game is in my eyes, but I don't know if this one is too far fetched. The way that the Chiefs have looked the last couple of weeks, you can't get into turnover issues with the Saints team because they do have a much better running back that they are more than willing to hand the ball off to.
That is true.
I am a firm believer that they can have some knockout power with Chris Olave and Raheem Shaheed to ice the game if necessary. I think I'm gonna take it, bro. I'm gonna take it.
You have no problem thinking that way. I wholeheartedly actually could see that being one of the ones where this could happen. This
is interesting.
It's in Kansas City on a Monday night.
I know.
I guess one of the things that scares me is it almost looked like the Saints have been regressing a little bit.
Correct.
But I'm hoping that the OC came to play because really it's just some small things they got to tweak. And they honestly should be able to come out the gates and really shock this defense a little bit. Like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Should.
I just like the position of where the Saints are in. I like how they built for a game like this. I'm going to be bold enough and take the Saints, good brother. But I'm glad that you are supporting me. I needed that confirmation bias just now. I was feeling a little weird.
No, this could be it. The Chiefs, kind of like y'all last week, you know, everybody like, well, somebody due for one crazy L. The Chiefs 4-0, they due for one.
Yep.
So
let's do it. Yeah. Well, we made it through, good brother.
You did.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you, man, for locking on. I know you plan on having some more. You got businesses you got to handle after this, so I appreciate you, bro, for getting on, putting out this content per usual. A virtual handshake, good brother. Virtual handshake.
We're here. Hey, put me on vice grip.
Appreciate you again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's another episode inside the locker room.
Yeah.
My boy.